Hi, this is Jim Thomason of Basson Software, and today I'm going to talk to you about creating scenarios. In our previous tutorial videos, we've spent a lot of time setting up all the information in our system, and now we're actually going to do something useful with it. You can see from our last video, we were still on the debt screen, and we've got a total of $118,000 in outstanding debt, and we want to get rid of that. So to do that, we're going to start playing around with various payment scenarios. We're going to go over Scenario screen, and here we have a lot of different options for how to pay things off. Various different plans. These are explained in the documentation. I'm not going to go into all of them right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the minimum fee only plan. And I cheated a little bit here for the purposes of the video. I pre-cached this report. Debtinator is smart enough that if you run a report and then don't change your data and run it again, it will store it for you. So in this case, this information is already in place, so the report finishes quickly. When I was running this in advance before I started the movie, it took a minute or two to finish. But it's done, so we can see what we can see right now. So the important thing to note is down here, you can see that to get out of debt paying only the minimums, we're going to send a total of $67,775.16, and we're going to be out of debt on April 1st, 2028. So it's going to take us about 20 years to get out of debt and cost us $67,000. Now, what this screen here is, what the scenario screen here is telling us is it's showing us how to get out of debt sending only minimum payments. It's given us a list of everything that's going to happen for the next 20 years according to the information that we've typed in on all of the other screens. So, for example, if we scroll ahead, you can see that on November 28, 2014, we have a payday. We get $1,000. We set aside $25 for emergency expenses, $100 for Christmas, and we keep $875 for debt repayment. On December 1st, our money market account accrues $66 in interest. Our savings account accrues $2 in interest. Down here on December 1st, the mortgage is due. We've got $82,000 left on it at this point. We accrue $413 in interest. We send it $750. We end up with $82,000, and on and on and on. So all you need to do is, this is your payment schedule. This shows you what to do. So you can print this out or export it out and just follow it and say, okay, on December 10th, I'm sending a $25 payment to my MasterCard, and you go with this, and that'll show you how to get everything paid off, and it'll only cost you $67,000. Now there's some additional information on the screen that's useful to look at. Down here at the bottom, you've got this big colored bar. And this is a stacked bar chart that shows you the total of your debts. So you can see here that your mortgage is $100,000 outstanding and is 84% of your debt. Your car loan is $10,000, your Visa, and then your MasterCard. But what you can do then is you can scroll down and you can pick a date in the future and say, okay, well what's left? So here in May of 2022, the mortgage is the only thing left. It's $44,000 is left on it, and you can see 62% of your debt is paid off. If you scroll up a little further, you can see, okay, the mortgage is there, but we've also got this green thing. That means that, oh, the MasterCard was still around in 2014. Now, the report screen itself here, there's a lot more additional information that you can display on it. These are the default columns that show up. These are the ones that are most frequently used, but there are a whole bunch of additional ones. Basically, they're all pretty self-explanatory, but you can go through and add and remove columns as you desire. Just click on something that's not checked to add it, and click on something that is checked to remove it. It'll show up or disappear from the screen as necessary. Basically, just fiddle with those as you'd like. If there's some piece of information in there that you want to see all the time, add it in. If you don't want to see it at all, remove it. If there's something that you're really dying to see, some piece of information that you think is critical that is in here, email us about it. Please let us know. There's a very good chance that it'll go into the next release. We love hearing things like that. We don't know everything that people want to see, so we rely upon you to tell us. And the other piece of information that you can filter on, we've got our little gear up here that changes the columns. We've got a little gear down here next to the go button that changes the rows. Here we can say, oh, right now we're including everything. We can also filter it to only include our debts. We can say, okay, this is the thing that's actually important to us. Now, knowing when we get paid every day for the next 20 years is nice, but it's not really important. The important thing is knowing when we're paying our debts, and this shows it to us. And again, you can filter this down as desired. You can see only your expenses or income or what accounts are involved or so on. Here's an interesting thing to look at. You can include only entries of other overpayments. Well, this is the minimum payment plan, so we're never overpaying. We're only paying the minimum. We'll go back to including only debts, and we won't include overpayments. Another fun option is you can color code your rows. What color coding does is it draws a bar chart in line in the report, and this shows graphically your debt reducing. So you can see here, up towards the start, the mortgage is pretty much at 100%. Your Visa card is dropped down a little bit. Your car loan is dropped down a little bit, and so on. And as you scroll down, you can see these bars shrinking as your debts are getting paid off. And this is actually a pretty good representation of what's wrong with the minimum payment plan. It's very slow. So we'll include none, and then we'll go back to debts and include just the mortgage. And you can see this is just taking forever. It's just inching its way down and taking decades and decades and decades to do it. It's not a great approach. We're going to turn everything back on, and now we're going to see exactly what Debtinator will do for you. Again, it's important to remember, using the minimum fee only plan, this is what your bank wants you to do. This is what your bank says you agreed to. It's going to cost you $67,000 in 20 years of your life. That's what we're going to do, is we're going to run the highest interest payment plan. This is the one we recommend. It's almost always the best. Unfortunately, because of the nature of this data, we can't guarantee that it's the best. One of the other plans here might work better for you, but the highest interest plan is the one that you should probably look at first. What that says is, what Debtinator is going to do is it's going to say, okay, I'm going to look for every single scrap of money that you haven't set aside for something, that you haven't budgeted towards an expense or another bill or towards entertainment or Christmas shopping or anything that you've got extra, anything that's left aside. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it towards the debt with the highest interest rate. Because if it's costing you the most